Suppose, suppose you go to a restaurant with 10 people. You are 10 people and you have just entered a restaurant. And have you had this experience, the way you order the food? There is a little chaos and confusion to decide who wants to eat what and who should place the order and how to place the order. So this is a little chaos and there's a little confusion. Over a period of 5 minutes, you come to some kind of consensus of what to have on the table to eat among 10 of you to eliminate the chaos. So how do you eliminate the chaos? By first and foremost articulating the kind of food that you want and to know how much of each item do you want. So this articulation and the calculation of how much do we want of each food, of each item, of each kind of food amounts to some kind of metrics, understanding of metrics. So for example, when you're born, we weigh the weight of the baby and we say it's 5 kilos or 3.5 kilos, 3.5 kilo baby. It's not that it's essential to know the weight of the baby for the baby to grow, but we need to know everything in metrics. We need to know kilometers, we need to know milliseconds, we need to know the gigabytes, we need to know everything in metrics because we live in a world of measurements. So inability to measure, inability to calculate quickly brings chaos and confusion. So to eliminate chaos and confusion, primarily we need to understand how to put everything in a framework of metrics, how to give a measurement, psychometric, isometric. There are so many kinds of metrics. We measure everything, and that is the way to eliminate chaos. And the second way is for us to learn to articulate, learn to know how to label things, how to put a brand, how to articulate the sensitivity, how to articulate the feelings, how to articulate the emotions so that we can communicate to other people, because people understand metrics and people understand articulation. And the third thing is to prioritize. For example, my dad is coming in the railway station, he's arriving at the railway station and I need to go pick him up, and at the same time I need to attend to my other work. Or you may want to take your children to school at the same time when your mother is arriving at the airport. So how to prioritize? So three primary skill is a skill of metrics, the skill of calculation, and then the skill of articulation, and then the third is the skill of prioritizing. And also the fourth skill is the skill of balancing. For example, have you had this experience that you want to board an aircraft, you want to go through the airport, and you are put through the security check where they check everything in your bag. Your bag goes through the scanning system, you are scanned and you are frisked, and they do a body check, sometimes they check your shoes. You do not feel very polite about it, though you have normalized that we begin a relationship with distrust. See, everybody is a suspect first in an airport. Or when you go to a shopping mall, for example, or a hotel, you see a security guard with a mirror under your car, as if you are a danger to society. So primarily we have normalized to be seen as a danger to society. Is that the way the humanism begins? The humanism begins on trust, not on suspicion. Though there are some elements who can be suspect, but the point is primarily we see everybody as suspect. Now this needs to be reversed. For example, you want to apply for a telephone, or you want to buy a house, or to begin an account with the bank, or even to apply for a credit card. Do you know the number of documents, the number of questions that you have to answer? For example, you want a visa or a passport. The amount of documentation, the amount of investigation, it's all based on the belief that you are primarily a suspect. And we have normalized to believe that it's okay to think I'm a suspect, which is not true. It is not true that a humanism must be established to know primarily you are trustworthy. So unfortunately, this fourth element I'm talking about, example the security checks, example the kind of formalities, the kind of documentation we need to give to procure a service, it's lopsided. It's like a lopsided contract. It is too much on the side of the suspicion, and is very little on the side of humanism. So as a social catalyst, we need to bring about that transformation, the transformation in our society, that we need to primarily deal with people based on humanism. We need to humanize many of the systems, many of the procedures, because over a period of time, many of the procedures and processes are almost on the side of inhumane. It's become inhumane, it's too lopsided. So how to bring in some humanism into the stringent systems, stringent protocols, stringent fragmented mindset. For example, I sometimes live in a hotel, and for a week or so, and I spend a lot of money in a hotel, but when I go to the restaurant and I tell them that perhaps I want an additional cup of tea or a little soup or a little salad alone, it's really ridiculous how everything is billed so separately, and they cannot integrate it with the entire hotel bill, or for example cannot throw in an additional complimentary dessert, for example, because of the overall expenditure I'm making in the hotel, because the system of receptionist, the system of the hotel accounting system, and the system of the way that waiters are trained in the restaurant, the system of the restaurant manager perhaps is not so integrated, and they do not have that much coordination, that it almost looks inhuman to be able to for them to start talking about the small charges every time you ask for a little service. So it's very important for us to learn a little humanism. Though the system and processes must be in its place, it's very important to have a human face to things, or a little humanism. So primarily, to eliminate chaos and confusion, we need to equip ourselves in metrics to be able to put a measure and a calculation to everything, and then to articulate the experiences, to articulate what we need to interact, what we need to communicate to and with, and thirdly to prioritize, and fourthly to humanize things. Now additional education would be to de-link all of this to another dimension. For example, when any of this is bringing about a crisis to me, my first question would be, why is it happening to me this way? Why is this hostility happening to me this way? This is your primary question. And the second question is, how is it able to impact? What impact does it make on you? Or how does this happen? For example, if you puncture a tire while you're driving, obviously, why is it happening to me? And secondly, how did it happen? Now, I'm inviting you to convert this how and why to why did it impact you? Why did this happening, that is a puncture tire of a car, impact you? And how did it impact you? Because you're so bonded, you seem to have a pact, you seem to have a bond and a pact, and agreement that you will be impacted. But this is where you need to intervene and say, and to research, we need to research how is this external event impacting us. So it is impacting us because just like the first alphabet in the word impact is I. Devoid of I, devoid of mind, devoid of this fixation that it is happening to me, devoid of this fixation and this question, why is it happening to me, how is it happening to me, it's all about me. So devoid of me, devoid of mind, devoid of the first letter of impact, the I de-link the pact. Therefore, I am free from what is happening external to me, and there is less stress about it, because because the external happening fails to impact somewhere within you. So measuring the metrics, the M for metrics, the A for articulation, the P for prioritizing, the H for humanizing, and finally a D-link. Delinking I from all of this will bring a lot of much needed solace and comfort.